Atrás de mí estás viendo el templo budista más grande del mundo. Borobudur fue construido en el siglo IX en Yogyakarta, el corazón de la isla de Java. Es tan grande que parece más una ciudad de piedra que un templo. Lo más impresionante no son solo las más de 500 estatuas de Buda, sino como el templo fue diseñado a manera de que cada nivel significa un paso en el camino a la iluminación. Caminas primero entre escenas de la vida cotidiana, luego subes hacia relieves espirituales hasta que llegas a la cima donde todo es silencio, donde solo encuentras estupas que guardan budas en su interior. Y si notas que a muchos budas les falta la cabeza, es porque fueron saqueadas durante la época colonial. Hoy esas piezas están expuestas en museos en Europa, pero el corazón de Borobudur sigue intacto. Esta es la verdad. Borobudur no es grande por su tamaño. Es grande porque te hace recorrer con los pies el mismo camino que Buda recorrió con la mente. Y esa experiencia me la llevo en el corazón. Si quieres seguir conociendo el mundo a través de mis ojos, sígueme para más contenido.
Halo gengs, selamat datang kembali di Fakta Mifa, channel yang selalu membahas fakta-fakta menarik tentang sejarah, budaya, dan berbagai keajaiban dunia yang bikin kita makin bangga dengan Indonesia. Nah gengs, belakangan ini Candi Borobudur kembali ramai dikunjungi wisatawan dari berbagai negara. Banyak turis rela terbang berjam-jam, bahkan menempuh perjalanan jauh hanya untuk melihat langsung kemegahan Candi Buddha terbesar di dunia ini. Kira-kira apa sih yang membuat Borobudur begitu istimewa di mata dunia? Yuk, simak videonya sampai selesai.
Tahu nggak sih, Macron sampai bilang ini terlalu singkat pas kunjungi Candi Borobudur kemarin. Presiden Prancis ini benar-benar terpesona sama warisan dunia kita. Prabowo bahkan langsung nyopirin Macron naik stairlift ke puncak candi. Di atas sana, Macron sempat nyentuh patung Buddha di dalam stupa sambil kagum banget. Yang bikin haru, ada wartawan yang kasih hadiah figur Lego Macron sama istrinya. Macron langsung ketawa dan bilang, "Terima kasih," sambil tersenyum tulus. Dia bilang Borobudur bukan cuma monumen, tapi lambang keunggulan manusia dan sumber inspirasi dunia. Candi yang dibangun abad ke-8 dan ke-9 ini jadi bukti toleransi Indonesia. Macron juga mengumumkan kemitraan strategis budaya Indonesia-Prancis yang baru. Setelah itu dia langsung terbang ke Singapura, tapi kesan Borobudur pasti nggak akan dia lupain. Menurut lo, bangga nggak sih lihat pemimpin dunia sampai segitu kagumnya sama warisan budaya kita? Komen pengalaman lo di bawah.
En venant en Indonésie sur l'île de Java, je m'attendais à tout sauf à voir ça. Jour 4 pour découvrir l'Indonésie en sac à dos. Je suis basé à Yogyakarta et aujourd'hui j'en ai profité pour aller visiter un monument historique classé au patrimoine mondial de l'UNESCO. Je te parle du temple bouddhiste de Borobudur qui est à environ 1 heure de route de Yogyakarta mais qui vaut vraiment le détour. C'est le plus grand temple bouddhiste du monde et malgré avoir subi des dégâts par le passé à cause de tremblements de terre, il a réussi à passer les années et tu peux le visiter, tu le regretteras pas. Ça te permettra d'en savoir plus sur la culture bouddhiste et l'histoire de ce temple qui mériterait une vidéo entière tellement il y a de choses à dire. Comme notamment le fait qu'il a fallu plus de 2 millions de blocs de pierre pour construire le temple ou encore qu'il a fallu 75 ans pour le finaliser. Je te partage une vidéo de mon voyage tous les jours à 18 h, donc abonne-toi si tu veux voir à quoi ressemble l'Indonésie sans filtre.
What's up, you lot? Today we're at the Borobudur temple. Now, if you're coming here, be prepared for all kinds of tourist traps and scams and all sorts of malarkey. Like, I have no idea what's going on right now. So it turns out it's not really a tourist trap. You pay £22 for a guided tour and you get to go all the way up the temple, so I'd say it's very much worth it. Our tour guide is being very informative as well. And look at these flip-flops you gotta wear. So they give you these little bad boys to wear because the stones are, well, your hard shoes will ruin the stones in the temple. These are made by villagers that live around the temple as well. And here it is, you know, the entrance of course.
Come with me to the world's largest Buddhist temple. The Borobudur temple was built in the 8th century and it became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in the 1990s. The ticket includes a short shuttle ride to the temple grounds. The whole area is actually a park, so it's really nice to walk around as well. We had to change into these sandals to not damage the temple, and we were met with our lovely guide who called himself Superman. Something cool that he told us was that the temple was willingly constructed by devotees, so it's very different from other World Heritage sites that were built with slavery. And here's a closer look at the temple. It's even more grand in real life. PSA, there's a lot of stairs involved. Guys, the view on top was insane. I don't think the camera is doing it justice. We had such an amazing time learning about the temple and taking pictures. On top of the temple, you can also see Mount Merapi, and it was really cool. After spending an hour on the temple, we headed back down. The whole place was very touristy, but I'm glad that they are doing everything that they can to protect the temple. So the next time you're in Yogyakarta, come and see the Borobudur temple for yourself. I promise you, it'll be worth it.
Relation the crown of temple. So when the first restoration in 1911, on the top was put a pinnacle like an umbrella, stone umbrella. It is called chatra from stones, but because it is not original.
Did you know that Chandi Borobudur is the largest Buddhist temple in the world? It's right here, 2,672 relief panels and 504 Buddha statues. Built in the 9th century, everything you see, all the stones are volcanic. You see here? L-shaped. Because interlocking, there is no cement. They just lock like puzzle pieces.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person.
All of this is buried under 800 years of volcanic ash and then rediscovered in 1814. And now it's UNESCO heritage.
Did you see that one I posted on Instagram the other day?
No.
Oh my god, this is fucking insane. Check this out.
Central Java's lush Kedu plains in pursuit of this mythical peak near the little settlement of Burra. They chopped and burned the strangling vegetation for 6 weeks and removed tons of volcanic ash. What they discovered were marvelous figures cut in stone, thousands of them, hidden beneath the volcanic jungle. Believed to have been built in the 8th and 9th century, the Borobudur temple is an uncontested marvel whose intricate architecture continues to confound scholars. Despite being one of the most important sites on Java, there is no written record of who erected it or what its intended purpose was. Because there are no inscriptions or dates on the monument, historians must make educated guesses as to when it was most likely created. The dating estimates are based purely off of architectural comparisons found elsewhere in Indonesia. Given the magnitude of the construction, it appears remarkable that no ruler or dynasty took credit for it. Borobudur is the world's biggest Buddhist temple, and yet nobody knows who built it.
Wow,
On the Indonesian
that's cool. Yeah, Jamie, I'm sending you another one right now. I mean, there's a bunch of these things. There's a bunch of things like that. They're just like, I don't know.
Gengs, dari berbagai wawancara yang dilakukan kepada wisatawan asing, hampir semuanya memberikan kesan yang luar biasa. Ada yang mengatakan Borobudur adalah salah satu destinasi impian mereka. Ada juga yang mengaku kagum dengan keindahan relief batu yang penuh cerita sejarah. Bahkan, beberapa turis menyebut pengalaman berkunjung ke Borobudur sebagai salah satu momen terbaik selama berada di Indonesia. Hal ini membuktikan kalau warisan budaya Indonesia benar-benar diakui dan dihargai oleh masyarakat dunia.
Hello everybody. My name is Stefan and I come from very far from Bulgaria, Europe. I follow Rinpoche more than 10 years already. And I'm really happy to be here because I recognize that how blessed you are to have such place like Borobudur, to have teachers like Rinpoche to come here to give teaching and empowerment at such a place like Borobudur. And that's why I can afford myself to come from so far to attend this beautiful event. So next time I want to see here much more people because this is such a great blessing. Thank you.
Hello Halo teman-teman, kali ini ikut aku jalan-jalan di Jogja yuk. Hari ini aku ada di Candi Borobudur. 진짜 너무 예뻐요. hari ini aku juga pakai batik khas Indonesia. 이 batik 진짜 너무 예뻐요. menurut aku, batikan Borobudur cocok banget. Aku senang banget bisa punya pengalaman ini. Jalan di sekitar Borobudur sambil lihat pemandangannya bikin aku makin suka sama budaya Indonesia. Tempatnya tenang, indah, dan setiap sudutnya cantik banget. 꼭 한번 와보세요. 진짜 정말 추천해요. Kalau kalian ke Jogja, jangan lupa mampir ke Candi Borobudur ya. 정말 잊지 못할 추억이에요. Terima kasih sudah menonton. Ikut aku jalan-jalan lagi ya. Dadah.
这里是印度尼西亚日惹附近的色居安丹堡，很多中国游客呢到了婆罗浮屠或者普兰巴南就走了，但真正懂印尼的人一定会来这里看看。来到这里啊，你会发现个很神奇的现象，旁边就是印度教的普兰巴南，而这里却是佛教的塔寺。很多人以为印尼一直都是穆斯林国家，但实际上呢，在伊斯兰进入印尼之前，整个爪哇岛呢深受印度教和佛教的影响。而这里的建造时间呢，大概是公元8到9世纪，跟中国的唐朝是一个时代。而当时的印尼不只有宗教文明，它已经拥有非常成熟的石雕工艺、建筑体系、海上贸易以及王朝制度。所以现在你看到的印尼不只是一个东南亚国家，它背后其实是一个延续了1000多年的文明体系。当然这几年呢，印尼政府也在极力的开发日惹的这条旅游线路，所以呢你会发现这附近不论是精品酒店、民宿还是咖啡馆，还有文创店、地接旅游，他们的增长速度都是非常快的。日惹这个地方哦，虽然它整体的消费并不高，但是能来到这里旅游的游客们其实消费并不低哦。这里是印度尼西亚世界文化遗产婆罗浮屠。走近看，你就会发现石头跟石头之间相互咬合，那么哪怕是没有钢筋水泥，它也能稳固上千年。婆罗浮屠9层的构造呢，其实是对应着佛教的3界，底层呢是欲望，中层是修行，顶层是涅槃。从下往上走呢，一共有9层，越往上走越空旷，也代表了人从欲望、烦恼一步步走向觉悟。那么这里作为一个世界级的文化 IP， 当然也带动了整个爪哇岛的旅游经济。在这个周边，从酒店、民宿、咖啡馆、文创旅行社，再到地接包车、摄影直播、活动策划，几乎已经形成了一条完整的产业链。尤其是每年的佛教节日、国际活动期间，游客量真的非常夸张。现在呀，越来越多的中国游客、东南亚游客以及欧美的游客来这里打卡了。所以呀，未来真正赚钱的一定不是门票本身，或者是传统旅游行业，而是围绕着人流所产生的所有消费。你同意吗？
So the reason why I am back in Central Java is because 4 years ago when this temple reopened, they didn't actually reopen, they just kind of took my money and let me walk around in the courtyard because it was closed for COVID. And now that it is actually reopened and I can walk around in it, I'm going to go check it out. Apparently the reason why these Buddhas are missing heads was because there was a terrorist attack that happened several decades ago where luckily no one died. I don't think anyone was injured either. They just blew up several Buddha heads because they didn't like Buddhism, I guess. So these carvings are pretty awesome. I'm also sure that in the future they're going to stop letting people walk around this place because it's apparently deteriorating quite a bit. So when I was walking around the temple grounds back in 2021, there was so many mosques surrounding it playing holy music that I couldn't hear myself talk. And it was a real buzzkill to the experience, but it looks like they got rid of those, and I'm guessing it's because they're really trying to upgrade and monetize on this thing a lot, because apparently they're even building an escalator for people who are disabled to go to the top. And they're gonna start jacking up the prices soon, that's what everyone is saying anyways. And so they're just like, I'm sorry guys, you can't drown out the evil spirit with your holy music anymore.
Gengs, Melihat begitu besarnya rasa kagum wisatawan mancanegara terhadap Borobudur, sudah seharusnya kita sebagai bangsa Indonesia ikut bangga dan menjaga warisan budaya yang luar biasa ini. Jangan sampai justru orang luar lebih peduli dibanding kita sendiri. Mulailah dengan menjaga kebersihan saat berkunjung, mematuhi semua aturan, serta ikut mengenalkan budaya Indonesia kepada generasi muda. Karena kalau bukan kita yang menjaga peninggalan bersejarah ini, siapa lagi? Tulis pendapat gengs di kolom komentar ya. Jangan lupa like, subscribe, dan aktifkan lonceng notifikasi supaya tidak ketinggalan video menarik lainnya hanya di Fakta Mifa. Sampai jumpa di video berikutnya.